The time being 9:30, I would like to call this meeting of the Long Range Planning and Utilization Committee to order. First, I'd like to tell the members of the committee that this is being live streamed to the best of my knowledge, so that if you speak, if you could just press the button, the red will show up. I could mute you all if I want, but it does go out. And it's the only way that it will go out and be picked up is if you use the microphones. Second, alternate House member Representative Edgar is filling in for Representative McConkey, and the chair declares that a quorum is present for this meeting. First item of business is the acceptance of the minutes of the November 9th, 2021 meeting. Do I hear a motion? Senator D'Alessandro moves approval, seconded by Representative Edgar. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the minutes are accepted. We have no old business. New business. RSA 439B, approval of state agency leases exceeding 5 years. If somebody from the department is here to speak about Lrcp 22-001, Department of Safety, requests approval of a 10-year lease agreement with One Wall Street LLC and Brickwater LLC, care of Brady Sullivan Properties LLC, 670 North Commercial Street, Suite 303, Manchester, New Hampshire, for approximately 4,900 square feet of space for the Division of Motor Vehicles located on the second floor of 377 South Willow Street, Manchester Commons, Manchester, New Hampshire, effective April 1st, 2022 through March 31st, 2032, for the amount not to exceed $988,820, subject to the schedule of annual rent and conditions as specified in the request. And the department is here to talk about this.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. Steve Lavoie, Director of Administration for the Department of Safety. And with me is Jeff Bond, the Assistant Director of the Division of Motor Vehicles. So before you today, we do have this item to request authorization to enter into a 10-year lease agreement for the DMV substation in Manchester, New Hampshire. That's located on 377 South Willow Street. This location has 4,900 square feet of commercial space that meets all the needs of the DMV. There's a large customer lobby area, area for staff, climate-controlled data closet, ADA-compliant restrooms, secure storage area, and then there's also sufficient parking and the ability for the DMV to provide some driver exam licensing activities in that area. The department did request and obtain a waiver from the Department of Administrative Services to waive Admin Rule 61006, so this would be a sole source arrangement. The waiver was requested because, again, as I mentioned, this location meets all the needs of the DMV, but we also had a very good negotiation with the existing landlord so that the square footage price went from $13.25 to $13.45 per square foot. We also, without going out to bid, that helps us to avoid the additional costs of a fit up for a new location if the location were to change. And that's a significant cost savings staying in the current location. That's the item that's before you today, and would be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions from members of the committee on this item? Seeing none, what is the will of the committee? Senator D'Alessandro moves approval of Lrcp 22-001. Is there a second? Representative Edgar seconds the motion. Any discussion on the motion before us? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is approved. The chair would like to specify that Representative Jess Edwards will be filling in for Representative Mills.
I apologize for my delay. I was testifying on HB 1665.
I'd have been more worried if I didn't have a quorum before. Moving on to RSA 439C, disposal of highway or turnpike funded real estate. The department would come forward. First item is LRCP 21-038, Department of Transportation, authorized to sell approximately 22 plus or minus acres of state-owned land within the controlled access right-of-way located on the westerly side of Route 11, Mount Major Highway, in the town of Alton, directly to the Society for the Protection of New Hampshire Forests for $181,100, which includes a $1,100 administrative fee, subject to the conditions as specified in the request. The department is here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Steve Labonte. I'm the administrator of the Bureau of Right-of-Way with New Hampshire Department of Transportation. The subject parcel is at the base of Mount Major and encompasses the parking lot that serves the hiking trails. It was originally purchased in 1968 for $2,900, and that was the total parcel was complete parcel was 43.53 acres. As a condition of the sale, the society will have to have a licensed land surveyor do a right-of-way adjustment plan, and will be maintaining a 125-foot right-of-way off center line. They'll also have to, if they can build any structures any greater than 200 feet above ground level, they'll need requirements from the FAA because of the airport on Alton Bay during the winter. There is some restrictive covenants that will go along with this regarding an old cemetery that was discovered on the site, and the appraised value was $180,000 plus, as earlier mentioned, they'll be assessed a $1,100 administrative fee. I'm happy to take questions if there are any.
Questions from members of the committee on this item to the department? Senator D'Alessandro.
What did we purchase it for initially?
I believe it was purchased for the Route 11 project, but that's what I'd have to guess.
Okay. And you said the purchase price was $2,900?
Correct.
Further questions? Representative Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'm just curious, what kind of an entity would be interested in purchasing this parking lot? Because it sounds like it's primarily a parking lot. And what sort of purpose might they put it to?
My understanding is what they're going to do is expand the existing parking lot. If you've ever gone by Mount Major in the summertime, you'll see cars lined up along Route 11 because the parking lot there just isn't big enough to serve all the hikers that hike Mount Major. So they plan to expand the parking lot.
Follow up.
So in order to have the capital to expand the parking lot, should we imagine that they're going to start to charge parking fees? And if so, that would make sense, but what sort of parking fee structure? Do you have any clue? This is premature, I know.
I'm not aware. I don't know if they're going to charge parking fees or not.
Any further questions from members of the committee? Seeing none, what is the will of the committee on item 21-038? Senator D'Alessandro moves approval of LRCP 21-038, seconded by Senator Birdsall. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the item signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and item LRCP 21-038 is approved. Item LRCP 22-002, Department of Transportation, authorization to sell .65 plus or minus of an acre of state-owned land located at the intersection of Black Hall Road and New Hampshire Route 4 in the town of Epson, directly to Thomas Leclerc in the amount of $50,000 and assess an administrative fee of $1,100 pursuant to RSA 443-A, subject to the conditions as specified in the request.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The original parcel was, as complete, was 1 acre improved with a residential dwelling on it. We purchased it back in 1994 for $99,500. The parcel will be conveyed with no access to Route 4. The buyer will have to submit a lot line adjustment completed by a licensed land surveyor, and the appraised contributory value to the abutting parcel, there's no development potential, so there's really no market for this parcel other than to the abutter, was $50,000 plus an administrative, an $1,100 administrative fee. I'm happy to take questions if there are any.
Questions to the department from members of the committee on this item? Senator D'Alessandro.
We purchased an acre-sized parcel with a residential dwelling for $99,500.
Okay, thank you. So the residential dwelling was demolished?
Correct.
Okay. And what did that do to the value of the property? The fact that you didn't have a home on it?
Well, we did it to widen the road. The reason for buying it was for a transportation project. So we ended up taking, I would say, about 1/3 of an acre off of it, plus demolished the residential dwelling. And now there's no, the only value to it is contributory value to the abutting parcel, because I don't believe it has any development potential.
So of the original, if I might, Mr. Chairman, so of the original purpose, what's left? And we're moving a piece, but the .65 plus or minus, and we purchased an acre.
Yeah, we purchased an acre, we widened the road. Now we're going to sell the remnant, which is .65 plus or minus of an acre.
So we used about, if I might, we used about 1/3 of an acre.
Correct.
All right. We demolished the house.
Correct.
We paid $99,500.
Correct.
And we're moving it, what we have left, for $50,000.
Correct.
Would one consider that a good business practice?
If you're in the business of building and improving highways, I would.
Okay. Thank you very much.
We're
Thank you,
not
Mr.
in the
Chairman.
business of, we're not real estate.
I understand. Thank you.
But just for clarification, is it not the policy of the department to try to purchase the small sliver that may be needed to widen the road, and if those negotiations fail, purchase the entire property rather than going through eminent domain and the rest?
What we would purchase the entire property if we're going to leave a non-economic remnant. So basically, if the strip we're going to take is rendering it valueless, other than contributory value to the abutter, then we would do a complete acquisition.
Thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none, Representative Edwards.
This is on the previous item. May I just ask that when you get further down the road and you start to figure out who's going to purchase this and what they're going to do with parking fee assessments,
It's being sold directly to the Society for the Preservation of New Hampshire Forests.
I hadn't heard that answer when I asked who might be purchasing it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, back to item 22-002. What is the will of the committee? Senator Birdsell moves to approve. Representative Cloutier seconds the motion. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval of item 22-002, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. One nay. The ayes prevail, and the item is approved. Moving on to LRCP 22-003, Department of Transportation. Authorization to dispose of 1.89 plus or minus acres of state-owned land with improvements located at 1556 White Mountain Highway in the town of Madison by entering into a listing agreement for the term of 1 year with Caldwell Banker Lifestyles for the sale price of $279,000 and assess an administrative fee of $1,100 pursuant to RSA 443-A, allowing negotiations within the committee's current policy guidelines, subject to the conditions as specified in the request. And the department is here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The parcel is improved with a residential dwelling and a garage. We are going to list it at $279,000 plus the $1,100 administrative fee. The parcel was purchased in 2005 for $225,000. The department will maintain a 50-foot right-of-way off center line, and the buyer will be responsible to submit a lot line adjustment plan completed by a licensed land surveyor. Can take questions.
I do have one. Assuming that we do make this sale, will that money go back into trying to pay back what we owe the federal government on the Conway bypass?
Yes, this is an ineligible property, so it'll go toward the payback.
Thank you. Further questions from members of the committee on this piece of property? Seeing none, what is the pleasure of the committee on item 22-003? Representative Edgar moves to approve. Senator Birdsell seconds. Is there any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve 22-003 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is approved. Moving on to RSA 440, disposal of real estate, New Hampshire Fish and Game Department.
Good morning, Chairman, and members of the committee. My name is Betsy McNaughton. I'm a land agent for Fish and Game.
Thank you. LRCP 21-039, New Hampshire Fish and Game Department requests approval of the relocation and modification of 2 state-owned easements over property owned by LCJ Holdings, LLC, and that provide access to the state-owned Pemigewasset Wildlife Manager Area, nobody laugh, Compton, New Hampshire, and assess an administrative fee of $1,100 pursuant to RSA 443A, subject to the conditions as specified in the request. And the department is here to explain.
So this particular parcel was, as actually the representative from DOT explained, was the wildlife management area was a remnant after and a non-accessible lot after I-93 was I-93 was built through Campton and Thornton. And the history of this property, of the wildlife management area and access to it, is a little colorful, as I tried to explain in the letter. The original owner of the remnant lot, which became the wildlife management area, and the east side lot on the east side of 93, there was the same owner, so the access to that farm lot was through a farm field. But when that lot was sold, the east side lot was sold, there was an agreement between the landowner and New Hampshire Fish and Game to provide access to the wildlife management area for hunters. And that worked out well for several years, except when the farmer sold to Owl's Nest Golf Course, which was, I think, originally Owl Street Associates. And when they built the golf course, they had to renegotiate the hunters' access across that property. So the original access in your packet, there should be a color-coded plan that shows, I hope everyone has the color version of this. The access that was negotiated was both the pink and the green, and the pink version was the public access, along with a parking area a little bit down the street from Owl Street. And that's a little bit of a long access across a property for hunters to use. And it was rarely used, actually, by hunters. The green section of that plan was the fish and game management access, which is a much more reasonable access. We would take brush hogs across that access to go and do habitat management work on the wildlife management area. When Owl Street fell into bankruptcy, LCJ purchased the property. And when they purchased the property, after a year or two, they made some changes to the golf course without notifying us of these changes that they were making, which altered our access. And so this is, after quite a bit of conversations, negotiations, discussions, on-site meetings, we came up with a plan, because they were in violation of the original easement, that the maintenance access agreement, maintenance access easement, that is the green on your plan, be both the maintenance and the public access, which would eliminate the pink makes it a much better access for hunters, and they are providing a parking area, which was eliminated by a street being developed. So there were multiple violations. So through the negotiations, we came up with this solution. And so we're releasing the pink part of the plan and gaining public access over the green section, which is also our management access. It's a much better solution to what was originally there. And I'm happy to take any questions. It's a little complicated, I understand. It's hard to explain it.
The map helped. Questions from members of the committee? Senator Del Sando.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So if I'm to understand what you just said, it's Owl's Nest that violated the covenant?
It's LCJ.
LTJ.
Yes, the company who owns the Owl's Nest Golf Course.
Right, okay, so I've been there. I have relatives that live in Campton on Ellsworth Hill Road.
Yes.
So they violated the covenant, which indeed I'm told that they had a habit of doing.
This was our only experience with them, with LCJ. With Owl's Nest, we had a different relationship with the owner of Owl's Nest, or Owl Street Associates.
Right.
But he's not in the picture.
He's
and
gone.
He's gone.
He's out of the picture as
Yes.
we speak. Okay, one further question?
Go ahead.
Thank you. So this solves the problem. Okay, we have
Yes.
access, and have there been any other violations that we've uncovered at this point?
No, not that we have seen. we go out to the Pemmy Wildlife Management Area on the west side every couple of years to do brush hogging. Our conservation officers are out there every once in a while to go and take care of hunting issues that happen on the wildlife management area. But this is the only one that I'm aware of. The previous owner, we've had violations with the previous owner, but he's gone.
Okay.
And I just think this is a much better solution, even though they were in violation, and it really, we were a little surprised by it. I think the end result is so much better for the hunters that want to access the property.
Great. It's great that we solved
Yes.
the problem. Now, one further question. Now, what about the rest of the development that's now taking place in that area? There's a great deal of development up on the hill.
We're not involved in that at all. You're
Okay.
talking about on farther east, on the, like, behind the clubhouse and?
Yeah,
Yeah.
behind the clubhouse and
Near
over there, that they're gonna create a reservoir or something of that nature.
Yeah, I haven't been
A
following
holding
that.
pond, and they're building all of those homes.
Yes.
And,
They're not affecting the wildlife management area, so, and they're not abutting it, so I haven't been following it. I'm aware that the building has been going on since the previous owner's days
But
near the.
one
power
further
line.
question. But
One more.
we are changing the scope of the land, though.
Yes, but I'm not, I haven't been out there. I haven't looked at that. That's not what my focus is.
Okay, fine. Well, thank you, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you, Senator.
You're welcome. Obviously, you've been in discussions with the holding company. They understand that they're going to owe us $1,100. Thank you. Any further questions from members of the committee on item 21-039? Seeing none, what is the will of the committee? Senator D'Alessandro moves the item 21-039, seconded by Senator Birdsall. Any further discussion on this item? Let the record show that Senator Gaida has shown and is present for the vote on this item. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion is approved.
Chairman, may I ask a question?
Certainly.
How, and it was asked of me, how does the $1,100 administrative fee, is it through invoice? Is it through something, it's the order through?
I will leave that to the experts in budgeting.
Right, so I think you'd want to work with administrative services to see the process that you should use for that. And depending on the source of the funds would depend where the money ends up being deposited. So it may end up back in the Fish and Game, if you use the Fish and Game fund to purchase that property back
Yeah,
in the day.
yes, it would
then
go
it may
back
end
into
up
the
back
general
in the
fund.
Fish and Game fund.
Yes, so is there anybody at administrative services?
I talked to your business supervisor to
Okay.
get guidance on that.
I think she's the one actually who asked me, because we very rarely do this.
I'll
Yeah.
Reach out to me after and I can work with you on that.
Thank you very much. That was our last action item. There were two informational items that were included, LRCP 21-036 and LRCP 21-037. Is there any questions or discussion on the two informational items? Seeing none, I would propose that our next meeting be held Monday, March 28th. That is after all action has to be completed on bills and reporting to, at least on the House side. I don't never speak for the Senate. But crossover is the 31st of March, Thursday the 31st. So all bills should already have been filed for action by that Monday, I would hope. So I would propose that we meet that Monday morning at 9:30. If there's no objection from the members of the Senate or the House.
Could you just say the
Monday, March 28th, I believe it is. I have to. Not 9:30 in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any further business that we need to conduct for long-range planning? Seeing none, I thank everybody for coming. I appreciate it. And for those who are following on live stream, it sounds like we will go quickly, but all the members of the committee have had all of this information at least a week before and have been able to read through it and do it. So sometimes it looks like we're just running quickly, but we've done our due diligence homework beforehand. Thank you all, and this meeting is adjourned.